So on the channel today, we've got an easy puff pastry guide 101. Following that, we've got a cranberry and brie bites, easy sausage rolls, sausage and bacon puffs, your favourite Marmite cheese straws, easy vol-au-vents, cheddar cheese straws, 453 grams of baker's flour, 85 grams of Trex or white shortening, 6 grams of salt, 4 grams of cream of tartar. You want 115 grams of ice cold water, 340 grams of butter. Right, we'll start by mixing our shortening into our flour. We want to make this into a nice crumb. Get both hands in. Right, now add in your salt and your cream of tartar. Mix this all in. Now I can feel the flour. This flour is quite warm. Now you want very cold flour. Make it well, add in your water. We'll add in half of it to start with, because you might not need it. The important part of making the pastry is your dough wants to be the same consistency as your butter. If your butter is too hard, it will just break down the layers. That feels as though I want some more water in it. You just want to bind this all together before we put it on the table and mold it up. This wants to end up a nice smooth dough. I used to put this straight into a dough machine and mix it up years ago, but then I'd probably be doing 20 blocks of this. Right, what we're going to do is now pop it onto the table and just mold it up. We want a nice smooth dough, but that'll do for now. So all we're going to do is let that rest for around about 10 minutes. That's your pastry dough. I've just got it out the fridge. It's nicely chilled down. You need a rolling pin, you need some flour, and obviously you need your butter or pastry margarine. So we'll start by rolling this out. A little bit of flour underneath. Now you want to be rolling this out to a sort of an oblong shape. Give it a shake. And we'll keep this nice and oblong. So you want to split into 3 like this. Now these 2 parts are going to be full of butter. We're going to turn this over, make sure it's nice and even. Again, we turn this over to this side and just make sure. The idea is to keep everything level. We want to take it down again. So we're sort of like, again, another oblong. So we're going to be doing, we want to do 2 turns, they call it. You'll see what I mean in a minute. It's just putting the pastry in. Keep it nice and even. It's the important part. And remember, chilled kitchen is much better than a warm kitchen. Okay? Now this is what we're going to call a first turn. All right? Now we want to get rid of this flour. We don't want the flour in it, all right? That ain't no good for pastry. See, and then we turn this one over here. This is now your first turn. Okay? Now we're going to do the same again, and a little trick. The old bakers would do this. On the side here, we'd go 1. All right, so you write down 1, so you know you've done 1. So we turn this around again. I bet you guys are following this. Roll out a little bit. Again, this is for your second turn. Once again, keep it nice and even. And you can just imagine if you've got butter inside this now, your butter is getting really squashed down. So this is why you keep it well in the fridge. Okay, this way a bit. Oh, give me back a rolling machine any day of the week. Guys, just buy it. Buy it frozen, all ready to go. Saves you all this aggravation. Right, there we go. And that is classified as our second turn. Okay, you don't really want this neither, really like that, but hey, we'll go with it. It's not so bad. Nice, neater the better really. Now that is your turn 2. Now, you can't use this now. You need another 5 turns. So we need to now put, because it's the temperature in here, this now needs to go in a fridge. And it would be the same if you had butter as well. So we're now going to put this in the fridge for around about 10 minutes. Always make sure you cover your pastry over because you don't want any skin or anything on it. So we'll put that back into the fridge. I just got this out the fridge. Right, and we need to give it our last turn. So once again, roll it out. Got a proper electric machine, this would have been done in no time, and you'd have been turning around saying we all need one of those. Yeah, believe me, it's much easier with a machine. Everyone kept saying in the bakery industry, your hands are cold, Steve. Well, they are actually. I think it's more a lack of circulation than anything else. We always do this last one just before we're ready to use the pastry. But once you've done this, before you can actually use it for making pastry, you have to leave it about an hour. Over you go, nice and square, further over, and there we go. So there's your puff pastry. All you need to do with that now is just wrap it up in some paper. Best thing to use is baking parchment. And to start with, you need your favorite stuff, supermarket, or you can make it yourself, puff pastry. So we'll just roll this out, nice and soft. Just straighten it all out. And what you do need is a 9cm cutter and a 6.5 centimeter cutter, the size I'm using. But if you want to make them smaller, then drop them down a size, whichever you like. It's your choice. And obviously it's the same whether you make it sweet or savory. For me, I don't mind either. We'll fold our pastry over and just trim it into two. I'll tell you what, I'll do it another method. Straight down the middle. There you go. Right, as you can see, it's very simple. This is actually gone a bit sticky because it's been under all these lights in the studio. Oh, sorry, the kitchen. So all we're going to do is cut out the bottoms. It depends on how much pastry you've got to how many you make. What you need is a fork, and all we're going to do is dock the bases. Right, we'll set them aside. Now, though this pastry, the cuttings, you think you can just throw them away, well no, save them because you can reuse them. You can make an Eccles cake out of them. And I'll show you how to do that in another video, what we do to these. Now this is our top piece. Once again, make sure it's all nice and straight. And again, all you want to do is cut out your 12, because I've got 12 here. Do you ever get that when your table's rocking about? This one's rocking away today. So don't think I'm on the ocean waves. It's actually the table moving about. Take off all your cuttings. Now for cutting the center out of the top piece, just take the middle part out. Try not to get too much flour on the pastry. It's the important part. Otherwise you've only got to brush it off. Hence why I'm saying my pastry is a little bit sticky. Right, now just pick out all the center pieces. Some people put them on as they are, as the whole piece, and then obviously cut down through and then pull it out the center after they're baked. But I always do them this way. Now you want to get your oven on now. It wants to be up to 200 Celsius. And now we want is your baking tray. I'm using a baking wire and some baking parchment. We're going to pop our bases onto the tray. You can use water or you can use egg wash. This is actually a mixture between egg and water, 50-50. You just paste bases. Now with the lid parts, what you're going to do is pick them up, but you're going to turn them over the other way and then place them down. So you're going to pick them up turn them over and place them down. And the reason for this is so, because you've cut down, when you turn it over, the cut is facing downwards, so they come up nice shape. And now what we're going to do is just push them down gently and wash them over with egg wash. And there we go. And all we're going to do now is leave this for 20 minutes so they actually recover, so the actual pastry goes woof. It sort of remembers it's pastry and not a bit of dough that's just been cut out. Right, that's 20 minutes. We'll pop them into the oven. They should bake for around about 15 to 20 minutes, but they can take longer depending on your oven. Right, the vol au vents are ready. They've been in the oven for 20 minutes, so they're looking spot on. Now all you need is another wire, and all we're going to do is transfer the vol au vents onto the wire. There's your vol au vents, and for filling, all you do is press down the center. It's that simple. You just press it down in the middle and you just fill it. Savory or sweet stuff, whatever you like. And for your recipe, you want some Parmesan cheese, some cheddar cheese, or whatever cheese you want. And the main ingredients, yeah, it's this stuff, Marmite. And also you need some puff pastry. Obviously this is a small square. What you want is fairly big sheet, maybe 12 by 12. You can get it from a supermarket. It comes in rolls, so you can make them the size you want them. First thing, you want to get yourself your roll of pastry. Now you want to put this out on the table as an oblong. Right, now all we're going to do is fold it in half. Make sure it's nice and flat. Fold it over. And all we're going to be doing is cutting this in two parts. So you've got a top and a bottom. Take the top off. Now all we're going to be doing with this is just washing it over with Marmite. Best way is to pop it into a microwave and warm it up. And it, as you can see, it just flows out nicely. And all we're going to do is brush it over the top of the pastry. And if you don't want it that strong, just add a little bit of water to it. The next job is to get your cheese grated all over the top and just spread it all over. You can put as much cheese as you want. I just like to keep it so it's nice, fairly even over the top. Right, now we sprinkle it with Parmesan cheese. Just gives that little bit of a kick. Now we're going to get the other piece of pastry and we're going to layer this over the top. Just make sure it's even on each corner. And once you've got it level, just push it down with your hand. If it's a bit damp, just sprinkle a bit of flour over the top. And all we're going to do is just roll this out a little bit. And not too thin. That's it. Now all we need to do, cut off all the edges so it makes it nice and even all the way around. Now you want to be around about an inch wide and then just cut down and just make little strips. You can make these as thin or as thick as you like, really. Now all we're going to do is twist them. Get the top and bottom and twist them in the opposite direction. Use the one hand and the other hand and just twist them in the opposite direction. There you go. And do the same with the next one. But if you find it a bit sticking to the board, just get yourself a knife under it or something to that effect and roll that one up. Do the same, twist in action, both hands at the opposite direction. You'll find it a bit stickier because it's Marmite. And there we go. And isn't that simple? Right, now we're going to pop them onto a tray. Now all we're going to do is wash the tops over with egg wash. This is egg mixed with a bit of water. Just make sure it's nice and even across it. Now we've done that, just sprinkle it with cheese. And once you've got your cheese on, then sprinkle it with Parmesan. Just to give that little bit of a kick on the top. We're going to bake these in an oven at a temperature of 200 Celsius for around 20 minutes. I always bake mine in the middle oven. It's just better. And halfway through, if you find they're cooking on one side than the other, all you have to do is turn the tray round. And there we go. It's as simple as that. And for the recipe, you want 6 sausages. Get the thin type ones, they're the best. Also, you want some streaky smoked bacon, some cranberry. Now this is just for Christmas. And also some beaten up egg. This is just 1 egg with a bit of milk. Also, your main ingredient is puff pastry. This is 3mm thick and it's 13 centimeters square, or in old money, 5 inches. Right, the first thing you want to do is just dab a bit of egg on the side. Get your sausage, get your bacon, and we're going to roll it up and put it in the middle. Once again, get your bacon, and all we're going to do is roll it round the sausage. Now all we want to do is pop a bit of cranberry sauce on the side. You can put it on the top, or you can put it underneath. All we're going to do is wrap the sausage over like that and put a stick in it. Strap it over. Wrong way around. Wrap it over and put a stick in it. And now we'll pop these onto a tray. And now all we're going to do is egg wash the top. And that's it. And all you want to do is rest these now for around about 30 minutes. Right, we've now rested them. Now we want to be baking these off for around about 25 minutes at an oven temperature of 200 Celsius, or in old money, 400 Fahrenheit. They look absolutely lush. All we're going to do is pop these onto our cooling wire. This is what you call cheap food. We're making quality. All you need to be buying from the supermarket are 5-inch square pastry sheets, or just a roll of pastry. That's all you need. Need a bit of egg wash, some brie, and some cranberry. That's all you need. If you want to put anything else in it as well, bacon, etc., you can add that as well. And all we're going to be doing, half of them we'll do different to the others. So we'll do some as like crowns and some as like folded over. So we'll start off with your brie, and we'll just cut a piece off and plonk it in. Just pop a bit of egg on the edges and pop on your cranberry. And all we're going to do is just fold them over. And if you want to feel more like a party, get your little stick in and stick that in as well. And for these 6, all we're going to do is put the brie and the cranberry in, egg wash around the outside and fold them over like little pasties. So egg wash the edges. Now we're going to put our cranberry in the middle first. And then just pop a slither of brie on the top. And all we're going to do is just fold them over. Just try and keep the contents inside the pastry. And all we're going to do is just give it a little push down. And just dot the top. Now we're going to tray up these ones as well. We're now going to egg wash the top. Now what we're going to do now is pop our oven on. Your oven temperature wants to be around about 200 Celsius. And you've probably seen this in a previous video of mine where you've got to leave your pastry to recover. And the same thing here. We're going to leave and rest these for 20 minutes just to recover because they've been drinking too much. Now we've rested the pastry for 20 minutes, we'll get them into the oven. And now we're going to be baking those for around about 15 to 25 minutes, give or take. It's dependent on your oven. What I always suggest is looking at them halfway through because they may need turning around. My oven's like everybody else's ovens. It seems to have a hot and a cold side. Our party bites are ready, by the sounds of it. Oh, now that's lovely. It's as simple as that, and that's your quick, easy party food. For the sausage rolls, you want 25 grams of sausage meat. You want some puff pastry cut into 5-inch squares. Just get the puff pastry from the supermarket. It's much cheaper and saves playing around with making it yourself. What we do then, we place them on the top here. Important thing is, on one edge, is just to wash it with egg wash. Like that. Just pull these back a bit. And what you're going to do, you're going to get the sausage meat, bit of flour in the bowl, and now we're going to roll it out to get 4 sausage roll pieces. What we're going to do is then split this into 4. Like that. And just drop onto your pastry. Like that. And all we're going to do is cover them over. And that is your easy, simple sausage roll. Now what we're going to do now is put those onto a tray, ready for baking. And all we're going to do is cut the tops. 4 little cuts in the top. And then we're just going to wash them with egg wash. And that's your straightforward sausage roll. The sausage rolls now rested for around about an hour. They should take around about 20 to 25 minutes in an oven temperature of 400 Fahrenheit. Right, the sausage rolls are ready. Right, just to check that they are actually done, get your thermometer out and just probe them. Well, it's as simple as that. And for the recipe, you want red Leicester cheese, cheddar cheese, Parmesan cheese, and 1 egg with some milk whisked up. But your main ingredients is puff pastry. Now just get this from a supermarket. It don't cost a lot and it saves you a lot of time. First job, roll out your puff pastry. All I'm going to be doing is fold this in half and cutting it. This is a very, very easy recipe. We'll turn that round. Now, all we're going to do, this 1/2 here is going to be covered with cheese. So what we're going to do is grate some cheese on. And then we'll get the cheddar. And your Parmesan. And now we're going to place the other part on the top. And get your rolling pin and just roll it out. So just take off the edges. Now all we're going to do, they want to be about 1 inch thick. What you need now is a tray, and on that you want some silicone paper or some baking parchment. And all we're going to do is twist them and put them on a tray. Now we want to be leaving these to rest now for around about 20 minutes. That's just to let the pastry recover and give it a good rest. Now you want to be popping your oven on. Your oven temperature wants to be about 400 Fahrenheit or 200 Celsius. And we're going to be baking these for around about 20 to 25 minutes. until they're golden brown. So we can now wash the tops over with egg. Once again, just get yourself some cheese. Just grate a little bit over the top. And a little sprinkle of Parmesan. Now the cheese straws have now rested for 20 minutes. And we'll get them into the oven. Right, the cheese straws are ready. Well, it's as simple as that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe if you want to. And do check the description for your recipe. And whilst you're down there, you'll find playlists of more recipes. And we'll see you again very shortly in the Crazy Baker kitchen. Laters! This is the Crazy Baker channel. Baking. Lifestyle. Recipes. Reviews. I am the Crazy Baker. Please subscribe and please share. Laters!